Hello guys, welcome to a new video. In this video I will kind of review the Tomb Raider Angel of the Darkness Definitive Edition demo, and I will do it by level. So let's start with the first one. The first thing that I have to say is that it is amazing how the quality of the first cutscene improved. The gameplay started and I wondered what Lara had in her back pocket. Later I realized that was probably the paper with Carvier's address, because after we talked to her, Lara doesn't have it anymore. But we still have it in the item menu. We don't get the pistol in this level, which makes sense, since we couldn't use it anyway, because we don't get any bullets on both versions and stealth would be required. In this case it is. In the original it should be, but it isn't. Some items have different locations and the first drawer that we find is also locked. Inside the drawer we find a necklace that I don't remember ever seeing. When we find the first police officer, we really need to use stealth, because if he sees Lara, she will get arrested and it is a game over. For some reason the key is now on the floor. I really didn't understand this minor change. The only thing I didn't like about this part is how slow he turns, so I had to wait a long time until I understand how his moves work. After taking the stairs down, I was expecting the cutscene like in the original, but nothing happened, and I was delighted to know I could explore the hidden training area. We can explore it in just 2 areas. I spent a lot of time there thinking I was missing some key to be able to go to other places, but apparently you really can't. Maybe because the other area is the one missing textures. To activate the cutscene, we just need to go to the door of the building. This level is very similar to the original version. The 2 big differences are that one of the policies actually goes after you instead of staying on the ground floor. I panicked because I thought I was going to get arrested and would be a game over screen, but I was able to kick his ass. The other one is that the key for the rooftops is no longer on the floor next to it. Now we really need to get the key of the locked apartment and go back to one of the floors to get the key to exit. This level is pretty much the same. I just felt like the helicopter now barely misses Lara when it shoots. And to be honest, overall in the game, I thought that the enemies were actually really good with their aim. They barely missed Lara, which turned things a bit more difficult. So in this level, we usually would start immediately a conversation with Carvier, but now we can actually explore her apartment, which I think is cool, because before we only could do that after, and we would have a limited time because of the police. So now we can explore it as we see fit, and I love that. Then basically the rest is the same, you know. When you want to start the conversation, you just go to her and you press the button to talk to her. And I remember seeing a photo there. Actually I saw several photos that are probably people that are part of the development of the game, but I only recognize one of these that I believe is one of the voice actress. I don't know if I think it's the second voice actress, if I'm not wrong. The first difference that I noticed was that in the beginning there was no money on the floor, and that was a pity. I really like to grab 500 euros off the floor, and I hope to one day go to France, especially Paris, and get those 500 euros on the floor. It would be cool. I got curious about the fact that we can now interact with this door, and I thought that Janice looked way older now, or it's just me that thinks that. In the gym area, Lara can now practice her fighting skills. I got really excited when Lara started to give me the tutorial to do that. In Run's shop, now when Lara talks to him, we can choose a line. It always kind of bothered me how she was so rude to him, like she says to him to keep his mouth shut. She actually asks if he can do that, and it seems so out of place and so rude. I know she's a bit rude in this game, but usually it's because we can choose a rude line and a more nice line. So I thought that was cool, something nice to add. Also, now we can actually buy things instead of just selling. We can buy gun or clips. And to be honest, I should have bought clips because there were parts on the Serpent Rouge that I didn't have more clips, and I had to fight, and I would lose a lot of health doing that. So after first talking to Pierre and getting the key, I was really frustrated because I couldn't open the door to access the Serpent Rouge. I thought it was a bug until after some minutes I remembered that the first door that we can interact with in this version, and yeah, that was the door that I should use, and I was wondering why they changed the door that we used to enter the Serpent Rouge if we choose Pierre. And was it going to be like that in the original game and they changed it for some reason? I wonder. I also didn't get the cutscene with Curtis on his motorcycle, but to be honest, that scene didn't make any sense, like how he was so fast searching the Serpent Rouge. We had just seen him a few seconds ago on Cafe Metro. And of course, I had to mention that now, when we get close to him, we trigger a conversation between them. And I like how he's reading a newspaper where you can see a photo of Lara and something about the monster, and we actually can find 2 more newspapers like that in the Cafe Metro.
Excuse me. And excuse you too. Do you know a Louis Bouchard?
I'm a stranger around here.
Don't let me distract you from your paper.
So it's on the beginning of the Serpent Rouge that Lara finally gets a gun, and the room will depend if you choose Bernard or Pierre. When you turn on the music, you can actually hear new music. It's not always the same one on a loop, and I thought that was really cool, and I wonder from where this music is, and yeah, basically that's it. That was one of the things that surprised me the most until now. Later, when Lara gets the box, a guard will appear and pull the bridge up again by using the device that we always wonder what its purpose was, because it would appear like a hand in the screen, that it means we could interact with it, but it never did anything. So yeah, now we know how it works and we actually can't use it. When this happens, I do advise you to go down the stairs of the control room and open the door before you get the box, because otherwise you will need to do all the jumping again, and that isn't fun. I was really upset when I saw that I had to jump all those things again, and so I reloaded a save that was just before, and I opened the door. When we get out of the Serpent Rouge, no matter if we choose Pierre or Bernard, we will see the cutscene of Curtis taking off in his bike. This was a thing that also bothered me in the original. We only would get this cutscene if we choose Pierre. If we would choose Bernard, for some reason we wouldn't get it, and I never understood that. And yeah, like now that makes more sense, you know. When we get down, we find the body of a guard. The person who did this was probably Curtis, because I remember reading some files from Murty, the writer of the game, where Lara could see Curtis beating a guy to get information, so maybe that's it. Later, when I got to Francine's house, I was sad that I couldn't steal stuff from her house like in the original version, but it makes sense because from this point we are unable to talk to Rance because he will be dead. I remember getting I think it was a watch in her house and I couldn't sell it, so yeah, makes sense. Since there are so many lines through the game, like in the first cutscene we get a different line, and during the game while we are playing, Lara sometimes will give us some funny lines that shows her attitude that I love, a bit of sarcasm basically. And I was actually expecting Lara to say something when I found poor Arnold. On the other hand, once more, I was surprised to see that this time Bouchard isn't alone in the room. We get this weird conversation that I thought that I would have to fight the guy, so let's see.
J'ai trouvé une espionne, Bouchard.
Dis-lui que je suis occupé et fous-la dehors.
The types you have to deal with these days.
Other different things that I found are the fact that now, besides giving the box to the guard, he will also want 800 euros. Yeah, so it's harder now to go through the guards if we don't want to give the box to Pierre or Bernard for some reason. And I don't know if you remember, there was kind of like, I think it's a subway very close to Bernard, but the door is closed and we can only open from the other side, and to open it we have to go through the sewers. And in that area of the subway we will find a poster of the Lord of the Rings, which is a really cool Easter egg that also surprised me a lot. I'm always surprised, as you can see. And I wonder if the original, I really don't remember if it was there, but maybe the graphics were not that good and we couldn't see that it was the Lord of the Rings. But either way, I loved it. And yeah, basically those were all the things that I saw in this demo. The demo ends when we see Lara getting out of Ren's shop after the explosion. You can also find in the menu, in the item menu, an amulet of Butai, which explains why she would get those upgrades of strength that everybody thinks it's weird, but now we have an explanation. And we actually have the glasses. You can even see on Lara the glasses in her front pocket of her jacket. And I was a bit upset that I would click on the glasses and she wouldn't use them. So yeah, it would be a really cool thing to be able to do. And I think I'm not forgetting anything more. And yeah, overall I thought that this demo was very cool. I tried to change the controls because now you have another option. For me, for some reason, it simply didn't work, or it's very similar to the original. Because I remember if I would press the button to step back, she would actually do a step back, but now she would turn and walk in that direction. So I was a bit confused if I was using the new controls or not, so I really can't talk much about it. But yeah, I loved this demo. I wasn't expecting to actually enjoy it. I thought it was just the graphics, to be honest. I didn't expect to have all those new things, and yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would love to know your opinion about this demo and if you already tried it. And yeah, that's all, and don't forget to leave a like to help the video reach more people, and subscribe if you're new. Until next time, bye bye!